Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Tesla 54, thanks for dropping by. Today we're going to jump into a variety of topics, but this first topic, $10,000. That's how much gas savings or fuel savings potential you can save over 100,000 miles, says this publication and this article. So we're going to take a look at that and break that down because I don't think it's as high as that amount. And there's a lot of different costs that if you're looking to buy a Tesla or any electric vehicle, you have to pay some mind about. So we're going to get into that plus a variety of topics. But before we do that, let's roll that intro really quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So definitely check out my Patreon link down below in the description where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So if you check it out, Patreon link down below in the description. So shout out to Inside EVs. They posted this. US EV fuel cost savings potential is $10,000 over 100,000 miles. Quote, the larger the vehicle, the greater the fuel cost savings potential. I guess that makes sense because the larger the vehicle, the bigger the truck, the bigger the SUV. It's not going to have as good as an MPG. So if you can switch to electric, also electric trucks and electric SUVs don't do as well in terms of efficiency of energy, battery to translating it to the powertrain as well. But still, you're going to save a lot more by converting the bigger vehicles than these smaller vehicles. But they cite here with this graph basically that you're going to save about 10 cents per mile savings all the way up to 100,000 miles at $10,000. But I'm not too sold on this one. And there's a lot of different costs that you need to be aware about if you're buying a Tesla vehicle. The number one thing is if you're going to be supercharging is not cheap at all. It's pretty expensive, anywhere from $20 to $40 each time you fill up at least in the California area. Maybe it's less expensive on wherever you're at, other places or other states. It has to be because electricity rates are different by every state as well. So most likely the superchargers are going to be lower as well. But the biggest thing is that supercharging or charging at a supercharger, I kind of relate it to the same amount of cost as owning a hybrid vehicle. It's going to be about the same efficiency, and each time you go to the supercharger station, you're going to spend the same amount of money to go per mile for that different type of thing. But the first thing here is this, before we get into all the different math on really the three things that you need to be aware about in terms of actual costs, should be pretty simple. Try and figure out which direction I'm going. But the first one is how can you calculate how much your battery is going to charge by charging a Tesla vehicle? So we'll just start with the Model Y because Model Y is pretty average and is about the same as the Model 3 anyway. But a Model Y has about a battery size of around 75 kilowatts. And there's actually great calculators out there where you can try and figure out what kilowatt rate you pay at home, wherever you're at, or if you're renting as well. And there's also websites that kind of give you an average of what the kilowatt per or cents per kilowatt might actually be. And you can see all the different states here. This is the number that you're looking for. How much cents are you paying per kilowatt? And you can try and see the quick math that we can get here. So if you're paying 10 cents a kilowatt, or I guess no one really is besides North Dakota, but if you're paying 10 cents times the size of the battery, of course, minus a little bit of efficiency loss, but you can get some round numbers or some decent round numbers of where that would be. So the first one here is like this. So 10 cents, 75 kilowatt battery, and that's going to be $7.50 to fill up this Model Y in full and to go about what? It's 300 miles or whichever it is, or maybe even 280 miles depending on whatever that is. So you can kind of try and do some of the quick math that is to figure out how much it is going to be to charge up your Tesla vehicle at your house. And you might have messed around with Tesla's website where you can see all the different calculators that they have as well. So let's just go into this a little bit. So 5-year period, which I think on average, most people keep their cars for 5 years. You can put in your gasoline cost. So it's going to be a little bit higher. So let's just put it like $4.5 or $4.50 because I think that's what the gasoline cost in California is at the moment. And if compare it against a vehicle that had a 25 mile per gallon vehicle, and electricity is definitely not 16 cents in California. It's around 25 cents on average. And you can see electricity would cost us about $700 a year to charge up this vehicle. And the one thing we don't find here is how much miles we actually drive, which I wish they could put that in to add some more calculations as here. But it says estimated gas cost would be $1,800. So really over the course of 5 years here, we'll be saving, according to Tesla, about $5,500, which kind of goes in line with that other website saying that we're going to have a gas savings of $10,000 over 10 years. But nowadays, there's vehicles that can go even better in terms of miles per gallon. There's hybrids that can go all the way up to like 50 miles per gallon, or maybe even more on average 40 miles a gallon. So you can see here, if we put a vehicle that's 50 miles per gallon equivalent, then we're really not saving that much money. And you can see estimated gas savings over 5 years is $1,000 total. So really you're starting to see that gas cars are kind of getting to the level of cost savings. And if you buy an electric vehicle, you have to install chargers and pay for supercharging as well. So I'm not necessarily trying to paint a negative here for electric vehicles, but I do want to give you the information that is out there, because if you go with a wall charger, let's say you go with like a Tesla wall charger at $450, and let's say you go with installation like through a Tesla authorized installer like Smart Plug EV in the Southern California area, ask owner Mario for a deal, the dentist deal, if you want to get hooked up for here. But these prices can cost anywhere from, since there's a Tesla authorized installer with 4-year warranty, like $450 all the way up to, like, depending on how far in the box and if you need upgrades and like things like that, I can see $1,000 to $2,000. But let's say $1,000 on average, probably that's what it is for most people, plus the wall charger of like $500 out the door with tax. You can see if we add that number up plus the install of $1,000, plus if you're going to be doing road trips once or every quarter for the next 5 years, you're going to pay for supercharging as well. So I just put $500 in supercharging over the course of 5 years. You can see just hard costs before you even start to do anything with the Tesla vehicle is about $2,000 over the next 4 to 5 years by owning it and powering that electric vehicle. So really, depending on your situation, if you've already got a fuel efficient hybrid, you might not see any sort of savings at all. Now, of course, if you're going from like a vehicle that did like 15 miles per gallon, then yes, you're going to see some savings, especially if it's like an older vehicle that really did not do well with fuel efficiency at all. But hopefully that helps with all the different links and all the different calculators that are out there. You can do the math yourself and figure out in your situation, are you going to be saving money by switching to a Tesla vehicle? And most likely you are, but you got to be aware of some hard costs like installation and charger installation that you need to be aware about. But we're going to jump into the next topic. But let's jump into the live stream comments. Tesla54, thanks for coming in. Tesla, why you show Tesla discounts in the California area and not the whole USA? Not everyone lives in the California. Great point. That'd be crazy to like search a bunch of zip codes all over the place. I guess I could pick like the 4 to 5 hot markets that we can try and figure out where people are at. I guess I should look at, because the reason why we focus on California, well, A, because we're in California, and so we like getting the great deals and I like looking at the deals, but also 25% of our viewers actually watch from California as well. And so that's kind of where my thought process is there. But I could take a look at the demographics and see what's the next highest percentage after that to look at the market. Tesla, I canceled my Tesla Model 3 order and I'm never going to buy a new Tesla. And any thoughts on what EV should I buy? Was going to test drive a Cadillac Lyric Lucid and an Equinox and maybe a Hyundai EV. Great question. I've got a deal to show you at the end of this live stream. I really don't want to buy used Tesla or EV used for that matter. Would rather buy new. Yeah, you should buy new for sure. Used Model S Plaid, 15K miles for $69,000. That actually sounds like a pretty good price, especially because that's a Plaid for $69,000. That is a ton of value for a vehicle for that low price. And this next topic, if you're waiting for Cybertruck deliveries, well, now there's a brand new interior that is starting to deliver. Let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. Shout out to Gregor Truck for posting this. Here's a tactical gray Cybertruck interior. This is a customer's truck. Thank you, Caleb, for the DM. So let's take a look at this because I actually kind of like it. It's kind of muted. It's not that loud, definitely not as loud as the white interior that we can see in other pictures. We can see it. Here's another shot of the rear panel. It's kind of like not necessarily a gray, but also it's got like some hues of green in it. Actually, just like this watch band that I just got recently, you can see it's like a muted green / muted gray. So I like it. I mean, I'd love to see it in person to see what it actually looks like, to see if it's great, if it's got that nice look or luxurious look or not. I mean, white is cool, it's clean, and I've never had a white interior Tesla until the Cybertruck, but even that's not really a white interior because the seats are black as well. But still, definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you like this gray interior or would you rather get the white interior? But let's get into the next topic. Tesla54, thanks for the super chat. Thank you for supporting. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for just dropping by. I know you come by all the time, so thank you for supporting and with the chat. But yeah, the 22 Model S Plaid for 15,000 miles for $69K. I mean, of course, take a shot, try and negotiate. I mean, if you can get down to like $65,000 or something like that, that would be a good deal because you got 2 years of warranty on that at a minimum, and you got like 35,000 miles of warranty as well. That is a great deal. Would you drive it daily, the Plaid, or you bought it and trade my Lexus on it? Yeah, I would daily drive the Plaid. Model S is by far my favorite Tesla vehicle before the Cybertruck came in. It looks great. It drives great. It's got air suspension. You really cannot go wrong with the Model S, in my opinion. And it just looks like it's definitely the best looking Tesla. Maybe the next best looking Tesla would be maybe the Model 3 Performance, and then all the other ones after that. And this next topic, Rivian. So there's a brand new Rivian coming out, R2, R3, all the different variations from that. But you might not realize that the R2 is actually pretty small and the R3 is a tiny vehicle. But let's take a look at it because now we've got a video screenshot of all the different vehicles stacked in front of each other, side by side, so we can see it. But let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So shout out to Rivian Updates for posting this. There was a video where all three Rivians drove side by side on the street, and he screenshot it, where they screenshot it and GIF them all together right after the other. And you can kind of see the size differences here, starting from the R1, then the R2, and then the R3. Obviously, R1 is going to be the biggest. R2 seems to be about the same size as like a Model Y, and R3 is tiny, almost like a Volkswagen Golf size type of vehicle. I mean, a little sporty vehicle that you can zip around. But here's all three stacked together, and you can see there's massive differences, big differences between the sizes of all of them. So I gotta say, Rivian did a pretty good job with the design of the R2, and it almost looks like an illusion because it does not look that much smaller than an R1, but once you stack it side by side like this, it's definitely much smaller than the R1. But still, very interesting to see, and shout out to Rivian Updates for posting this side by side stack so that we can see all the different sizes. But let us know, do you have an R2 reservation? We've got one. We've also got an R1 reservation as well. We need to figure out what the heck we're going to do with it. But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. Do I get a 10-year battery warranty on it? There's like through a third-party company? I would say so. Yeah, you could, but it's kind of tough because are you actually going to keep the vehicle for 10 years? Because I feel like a lot of people do not keep the car all the way to 10 years. It's 2 years old. Does the battery warranty carry over to me as a new owner? Yes. Yeah, actually, the battery warranty, the powertrain warranty, and all those different things carry over. So you do not need to spend more money on an extra warranty, but that sounds like a decent deal. Actually, let's see what wholesale value on this is. So here's my secret tip. So what I do is when I'm shopping for a vehicle, I try and figure out what the wholesale value of it is. And we'll take a look at, this is a quick way so that anybody can do it, but I'll also log into my handy dandy tool so we can see auction values as well. You said $15,000. So let's see here. Okay, so wholesale value of that vehicle is around $56,000. So maybe if you can get them to the low 60s, that might be a better deal. Let me pull up auction values at the same time so we can see what they're actually transacting at, because it might be a little bit higher than that. So we can see what the actual deals could be that you could be getting, or what the market value. So 2020, 2022 Tesla Model S, and then of course we got the Plaid. So what you're taking a look on the screen right now is wholesale Manheim auction values, transaction prices that have recently transpired from dealer to dealer, other dealers buying it from other dealers so that they can go around and flip it and resell it and retail it for a higher price. So it's all over the place actually. So we can see here, you said it's got 15,000 miles. Interesting. So I would say maybe if you can get to like the low 60s, it kind of depends, because it depends on where that dealer got that vehicle from, because they might have gotten it from wholesale auctions like this, or maybe they bought it off the street from a private seller. But I would say my number, if I was buying that exact car with that type of mileage, I would want to be like 60 to 64 types of pricing for that, because that's what the wholesale auction is. And so I get it. They got to make money. They got to buy it and then make money. So if they bought it for around that, then of course they can make like $1,000 to $2,000. And then you can buy it. But 69, a little bit high, I think. Like maybe top $65,000. I think that's where I would want to be for that. Red color, white interior as well with yoke. Okay, so that's actually a couple pluses, right? Because red is a higher cost of the paint, and then white interior, definitely a higher cost as well. So I could add, okay, so maybe like $66,000. 69, no, I think I'm good at 69, unless it's got full self-driving. If it's got full self-driving, then yes, we could value it at 69,000. I'd be okay with that type of pricing. In this next topic, there are some insane deals right now, all the way as low as $19 a month for an electric vehicle. And one out of spec, Colton just bought a $187 Kia EV6. Let's take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. Shout out to Colton. They posted this. Quite literally thrilled with my EV6. What a nice riding, quiet, efficient, and comfortable EV this is. Obviously, the lease deal on this was absurd. $187 a month with $1,500 out of pocket. Couldn't be more happier with this rig. Of course, this was a Colorado dealer at Fort Collins Kia. And so big thing here is that there's a $5,000 Colorado EV incentive. So that that did add a lot to why this is a $187 a month payment. But either way, even if you back that out, that's about $150. Maybe you can get a Kia EV6 for about $250 to $300, which is still a pretty good payment that you're not going to be able to replicate with any of the Teslas out there. And we can see some of the deals that are flying through the shelves here. We can see, shout out to a Nissan Aurora for posting this. $19 a month for a Nissan Leaf with 0 down. This is an insane payment. And for 24-month lease, I mean, if you just need a beater vehicle that you want to zip around and just lease it for a little bit, that can get you from point A to B and not pay for any gas, this might be the vehicle that you can jump into. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. If you've bought one of these vehicles, or if you've leased one of these vehicles at a crazy price, let us know, because I want to hear what your exact deal was and what you actually paid for. But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. All right, what else we got? I'll just leave this up. Model Y. I rejected my Model Y due to spot repaint found on the rear hatch. Advisor said that I might not get the same color if I reject it with quality issues. With 7C, it's hard to come by. Is this true? What's the next step after reject? After the next step is basically they throw you back into the pool. You wait for another vehicle, and then that one comes in. But when you say spot repaint, was it on the inside or the outside of the hatch? Because that's unfortunate for sure. And Yeah, I mean, my thing with Tesla is that they all have quality issues and they all have build quality issues, but I get it for sure. When you're spending that type of money, you want to make sure it's absolutely perfect. You don't want anything to be messed with. Blame, do we check DMs? Yeah, depending on which DM you're DMing at, then for sure. But thanks for jumping in, everybody. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for hitting the like button, the comments and everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.